we are back in the time loop once again. This time we moved just slightly south, I do believe. We're now at Imola. Thank God that Assetto Corsa doesn't refer to this track as the name it refers to itself here. It's like the full name is in English, the International Autodrome of Enzo and Dino Ferrari. Obviously the original creator and the son of the original creator of the car company Ferrari. They get their own racetrack, I suppose. Makes sense. And yet, I think Imola, I don't even know where Imola came from, because it's located in San Marino, Italy. So it's not where that the name came from. I don't really know, to be honest. Anyway. I hope it's on San Marino, like it's a separate island or something. So we have kind of a couple of saving graces for our blue-haired companion. Not that she's the only one, technically, but, you know, one of three. The only other two being Cerno and Sonic. Luckily, an upgraded car wasn't the only thing that Nidori has worked on. She's managed to, along with help from Dexter when they met at the vehicular stress tests that happened 10 episodes ago, they worked together on what was called the pinging device. Essentially, it runs off of the car's engine. What it essentially does is it'll mark certain drivers have these in their cars. It's kind of like it runs off the engine's power, and when the engine turns off, it creates a signal to signify, I'm racing here, or I'm done racing here. Dexter will usually attempt to contact the driver who just turned off their engine and, ask them to report on how the race went. Well, obviously when this happened, Nidori's engine turned off. Nidori didn't reply, and, well, now Dexter is setting off himself, along with a couple of companions, to Imola to see what the heck happened. The only problem is, it's not exactly pinpoint accurate just yet. We're in the right country, but Nidori is at Monza, not Imola. But at least we know by this point, if it's not here, there aren't many other places it can be. There's no other Italian track on the game besides Monza. Vallelunga and Magione aren't in this game like they are in Assetto Corsa. And Italy kind of sticks out beneath the rest of Europe, so it's not like it could be, a country neighboring it. Like, it's not like it could actually be at the Hockenheimring or anything. Because Germany's nowhere near Italy, I don't think. Or if it is, the tracks aren't near each other enough. It's more accurate than that. Also here, we have number 1, Samurai Jack, Sakuya, who should be able to she should be able to tell us what has happened if she actually cares to or not. Silver, and Bedlam. And I want to say that the white crossbow there might be... Never mind, that's 55. I thought it was the 78. I also want to say that these three are someone, but I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna do excuse me, my throat is disagreeing today. What I'm gonna do like the first few corners of the race. Ideally, get a little bit ahead of my opponents, and from there, I'll check the numbers of those cars and see if they're also anybody else, because I'm not very great at determining numbers. And yeah, Dexter is back in his 650S because if there's an emergency, he can't be going around racing a car he's not used to. This isn't the most opportune time to be learning stuff, when someone could potentially be injured or, heaven forbid, deceased. Other saving graces, Nidori herself, being half turtle. She's pretty tough. That backpack of hers, if only it were, you know, in front of her, would have, well, if she got knocked backwards by the crash, that would have taken a lot of the impact. Which is her herself, she is pretty tough. Especially for giving the appearance of being like 12, 13. Yeah, she's a century old. But that doesn't mean she doesn't look 13. She's a monster straight out of Japanese mythology. Technically. And you thought the Powerpuff Girls were weird. Alright, the other numbers. I'm sorry, I see a GT4 ahead of... Okay, no. Alright, so here's Bedlam. Not what I wanted. Yep, that's not 78. This is silver. The 160. Oh, this would be Tyler. There is no 85. There's no 111 to my knowledge. Nope. And there's no 179. Ironically, though, Cerno would be the 112, and Enduro is the 180. So their teammates' cars are here, not them. Or cars that would be on their team if this were just a regular motorsport event, and not Time Loop. Eventually I'll stop coughing over nothing. Eventually I'll stop understeering as well. And as you can see, based on the gap that Dexter has already acquired to his opponents, when someone's threatened, Dexter means serious business. This is about where I check behind me to see how the other companions are doing, but Dexter doesn't have time for that. Clearly, whatever bond that he and Nittery managed to build in the like few hours they were around each other, what am I doing? Was pretty significant. Dexter is relatively heroic. He's no Blossom, but surely Dexter realizes, and not that surely, I know for a fact that he does realize that his science, all things that he invents, such as this pinging device, but anything else he may invent that doesn't involve destroying stuff, can and will be immensely helpful to the general public. That's what science is for. That's what science should be for, anyway. And I would imagine Dexter's smart enough to know that. Especially from Fusion Fall. I'd like to point out as a little aside, the AI got tougher. I put the AI difficulty up in between this episode and the last. We're gonna need the headlights pretty shortly. I wouldn't be surprised if the AI already has theirs on. I believe the race started at 11 in-game time, so we're now sitting at like 6:15. And we're in fall, so it's actually like literally the current date in real life as it is in the game, so it's the 1st of October. See a little crescent moon up there. I think it's actually a new moon tonight, if I remember right. At least here in Minnesota. I don't know about Italy, but it's also not fall in Italy. I don't know what it is in Italy, but I know it's not fall. It's fall in America. I'm getting away from these opponents, like, holy cow. Starting to clear it up here. It only took me clearing my throat like 44 times. I'm apparently not too far from some laps car action. Now the brake lights in this car don't look very different from the taillights. Also, as far as I'm aware, you can pretty much hit any one of these curbs, and none of them will really do anything. As you can see. Yeah, see what I mean? I've hit like every curb on this lap and none of them has done anything to my car. That one's about the only one that's a danger. And even still, you have plenty of room to correct it if the car does decide not to like it. God, that's a lap and a half right there. I was gonna just mention that pushing it over all these curbs is actually like really fun and kind of cathartic for the amount of tracks in this game where they're basically just landmines. And no, the game would never yell at you for actually going out there. The opponent AI will run over that green patch too. See if I can get a little more aggressive here. A little bit. A little bit. You don't need to hit that one that much, Riker. Get a load of this Sector 2 timer. Now here's a lap. Oh my god. In fact, when I first started racing in this kind of game, I used to really hate Imola. I thought it was boring. And now it's clear to see that my opinion on that has changed a little. Straight into this lap, I'll probably be catching that lapped car there. My crib isn't one you should hit, but it's not one that you can't hit either. Looks like that's a crossbow. They don't go that far over, no, but they do use it. Thank you. Well, it's a good thing I had an absolutely huge lead, because that just took a absolute, you know, it killed it. That would have been like a 15-20 second win right there, except for him being there. Stupid idiots. Get away from me. I don't even want to see your stupid headlights in my rearview mirror. I'm glad we got 2 more nincompoops ahead. It's like the sun is beginning to wake up. Thank you, not your Enduro and not Cerno. If they'd just been 1 number more on either of those cars, we'd have had ourselves a character. But no. But at least it didn't get in my way. And normally, the AI will make an effort to get out of your way, as they would in real life when they're being lapped by the higher class car. Apparently the crossbow in last didn't quite get that memo. I don't think I'll be lapping the car in front in the lead, though. Oh yeah, I just eat that curb for breakfast. It's not like I care. The damage I have acquired has been the smallest amount of pulling to the right on a straightaway. Lost about 4 or 5 miles an hour on the straightaways, probably due to the pulling, a little bit as well as the aero damage. And the car feels ever so slightly more loose. But, minor setback, to be perfectly honest. It's a little tedious, but next is Tyler. Yeah, I don't know why you thought I would go around you here. AI seem to have a problem with processing which way it thinks the player is trying to go. As was the case with the Mustang here. They didn't know if it wanted to go left or right, so they just kept moving tiny bits. Or like tiny little amounts until they realized, oh, I'm going this way. I'll lap these two, but I won't lap the leader of the class. That curb order doesn't even exist, I don't think. Now, so I see that our guys are doing pretty well. Have Bedlam blocking off this Mustang. And logic dictates that that would be Raceman leading the race. At the track where he had his nearly fatal car accidents. Excuse me, sir. We will now begin the final lap of the race. And I will not brake nearly as much as I should be. And indeed, there is the man of racing. He even kind of let off because he's got such a huge lead over the other GT4s. So now shortly it'll just be time to find out how our fellow Cartoon Network characters have done. Number 1, Samurai Jack. Win! And with that, Dexter's crew is one step closer to finding the crash site. I am gonna do the ending lap here, just because I don't know why, but I just can, I suppose. And there we go. Bit scratched, but it'll buff out. Oh, number 1 did real well actually. Both of them did. Because Samurai Jack started like second to last in his category, and number 1 started like 6th. So they both went up. And I don't think Raceman started on pole for the GT4 class either, so... Yeah, this Mustang did, so... Or no, it was the KTM that did, and he ended up last, because those things have no top speed. Yeah, so that's it for this episode of Time Loop. As you can see just how much faster those laps were compared to the opponents.